we have a crazy next week ahead of us. There's something that just was announced here today in crypto that I think will have a great effect on the prices of crypto. I think it's going to actually pump the market pretty well. Keep in mind, there's a lot going on right now. So of course the general market could fall down. I want to cover why the market was up so much today, because it was absolutely insane. I want to cover what is happening in crypto that makes me so bullish over the coming weeks. Today, the stock market was insane. Amazon up 4%, Google up 4.5%, Tesla up a couple percent, actually lagging. Texas Roadhouse up 3.25%, cryptos up as well. Bitcoin up 2.4%, doing really well. It's been a crazy last couple of weeks, and I think it's not going to slow down. And I've been buying consistently over the last couple months because I don't know when the exact bottom is. But right now, things are looking pretty positive, and I'm gonna lay out the narrative for why the market's looking better, why people are starting to get bullish, and stay through to the end because there's a lot to cover. If you don't mind hitting the subscribe button underneath the video and turning on that bell notification, that way you can see right when I post a video, I think that would be great. Also, there's a link down there to the Patreon. We've had so many people join recently. I give updates when the market opens and when it closes, and I tell you every time that I buy and sell any kind of crypto or any kind of stock. So if you want to check that out underneath the video, you can. Now, recently, right, there's been so much volatility. Let's just go through this again. We had a decent CPI. It was fine. It wasn't great. It was pretty much at expectation. And then we had a very good PPI. This came in, obviously, yesterday. It came in at 4.4%, which is well below the estimate of 5.2%. Also, January PPI was revised down. So this was amazing. Yet the market was kind of scared yesterday. This was because of the liquidity narrative. Basically, all these banks are drying up. There were some large investors that were saying basically because of this problem with all the smaller banks, they think there's going to be a liquidity issue. Basically, the banks aren't going to be able to loan to small businesses or large businesses for that matter as well. And that will cause GDP or gross domestic product to fall down over the year. Or not fall down, but fall down compared to what it was going to be. So this is equivalent to like raising rates. It stifles the economy, makes it a lot harder to grow. So that was all happening, right? So we had great PPI, but it didn't really matter because of this huge liquidity issue. However, it came out late last night or early this morning that the Fed may provide as much as $2 trillion in liquidity relief for banks after the SVB collapse. Basically saying, hey, we will loan you money because we want you to keep on loaning to different businesses. We want to keep growing as a country. This, I think, was great news. We also had a bailout for Credit Suisse as well at the same time. So the governments are really backstopping these banks. They're also covering depositors for some of the different collapses that have happened recently. So the belief in the banking system is back. Also, the banks are going to be able to continue business as usual. And there is some questionable stuff happening over some rumors that basically the government's saying, hey, these banks don't work with any crypto companies from now on. But we won't get into that today. Maybe that's a topic for another video. But this caused the market to really explode, right? So now the Fed won't have to raise as much, most likely, because inflation actually is coming down, right? If we hadn't had all these liquidity issues, we probably would be up a lot because of this PPI and CPI. Keep in mind, PPI is a leading indicator. So if PPI is good this month, CPI should be good in the future months. Also, housing is very delayed, and that was what was up so much and has such a high weighting in the CPI as well. So inflation's calming down. It sounds like they're pretty much fixing this banking problem. Now, there's also a thought process that based on what they've done so far, the Fed's not going to continue to raise rates super aggressively because they've already broken something. They don't want to keep on breaking things, right? They want to be able to just move on, inflation to come down, and inflation has come down a lot if you look at this graph, right? So at this point, they're kind of stuck where they can't keep raising rates so aggressively. They've laid out that they want to raise by 25 basis points at this next meeting, basically. And I think that's going to happen next week. But I think that's actually going to be good because it will be like one final nail to kill off inflation. And I think that's going to be really positive. At the same time, right? So the fear of the banks are gone. The economy is actually doing really well. So we have low unemployment still, which, I mean, the Fed has a dual mandate. Basically, if unemployment had been going up and inflation had been coming down, they might have been a little bit more aggressive with stopping rates, or a little bit more likely to stop rates. But inflation's coming down. Unemployment's still good, so they did their job, right? They want the inflation to be low and they want unemployment low. And now, in crypto specifically, we have a really huge opportunity for something. In the next few days, we have the largest airdrop in history. It's coming in 1 week. It's Arbitrum. So a lot of investors are going to get thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, some of them. And what are they going to do with it? Well, I don't know about you, but if I was given, $10,000 right now, let's say my portfolio is worth $50,000 in crypto. If I got $10,000 from Arbitrum, I probably wouldn't keep it all in Arbitrum. I'd sell most of it, if not all of it, and put it into some of my top projects, because we know that Arbitrum's probably going to dump because so many people are getting the tokens, right? So a lot of people are going to get this money. It's basically just out of nowhere. They're going to get this money and they're going to dump into their favorite cryptos. And, we're going to see what has a good narrative when people get their Arbitrum tokens, right? There are a couple different cryptos that I really like that I think are going to do really well this year. And I think they're going to have money flow into them. Now, of course, there's going to be a couple things between now and then. So the market could change, but people will sell these tokens and buy other tokens. So it's going to be a crazy next week. Bitcoin has also shown such a use case recently. With everything that's happening to the banks, with liquidity drying up, people are going to keep on buying it, in my opinion. Now, of course, if the economy gets worse, if we do have some more black swans, maybe we fall down. But since this last black swan, we're up 25%. So this is all really good for crypto. Keep in mind, too, we have a lot of liquidity coming into the system, whether it's Arbitrum or the $2 trillion from the Fed or the bank bailouts, or any number of things that we could go through. And this is all really good for cryptocurrency, at least the prices of cryptocurrency. Crypto prices are very correlated with the amount of money in the system. So as we have more liquidity injected, we're going to see prices probably go up. Now, I want to be careful saying that, I think the market's going to do so well, because I don't want anyone to just throw all their money in, right? I've been dollar cost averaging. I think that's the best way forward, but please make your own decision. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the link underneath the video to the Patreon. Hit subscribe, hit the like button if you don't mind, and I will see you in the next video. Be careful of all the scammers underneath the video as well. Bye.